Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Stream of Card Consciousness, our show where we talk about baseball cards, sports cards, and Lord knows what else. As always, joined by my friend, my brother, Greg Smith, up in the Panhandle. How you doing today, Greg?
I'm chomping at the bit to get back on the mic here, Mark. I'm excited. I'm excited and doing great. And a little rainy this morning, but other than that, I mean, life is good. So, how about you? What's going on in Markland?
Good, Mark Land. School. We wrapped up the regular season here this week, past week, and had 45 grads out of room six. We saved them all, so it was pretty gratifying. 45 grads out of room six, and I believe 175 in total from the school. So it was quite the year.
And your record was in the mid 30s, right?
Yeah, I had 34 last year, so I was hoping for
Wow.
35, and then I identified like 45 that could make it about a month ago, and I was like, maybe, and we got them all. So it was
Well,
a good deal.
that's fantastic. That's a great man. That's a 33% increase. That's really good. Um,
Yeah.
You were telling me some stuff, and we can maybe get into this on the next show, but some little games and stuff you had going on in the room that the kids were participating in, and just getting things going, and the bracelets that you showed us on the page.
Yeah,
So
the bracelet club and all
that's
kinds of
cool,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, we had a good time. The kids, real quick, yeah, we can talk about, but they got tattoos, room six tattoos, and so now Mr. Ford's got to get a never surrender, never give up room six tattoo. So, which
Right,
I will
right.
gladly apply that ink to my skin.
Well, yeah, that's that whole experience being able to go to that room, and I'll come down next year too. Won't be quite as often, but we've got the little one moved back in with us, so she graduated from grad school and is going to move back up here and get a job. And we told her to come up and stay with us for a few months and take some time off and decompress. So
Congrats there. And
yeah,
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 Shasta's still here, so it's
yeah,
awesome, So it's always
absolutely.
good when our kids can come back after they get their success in college and whatnot.
Right, right. Well, yeah. So we'll talk about all that as the summer goes on. I'm sure a little bit more. But so you've got some stories you want to share with us, and some cards of the week, and some other
Yeah,
of the week. So let's get into
definitely.
that.
Well,
Let's talk about your story.
all right. Well, breaking news. This is gonna be more chart oriented, but breaking news. So the kind of like almost a month ago now, I'm cruising eBay and I see this card, a Keon Coleman patch card. Receiver for the Bills. It's like $1. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm gonna bid on that. Well, stupid me didn't look at where it was coming from. Greece.
Oh
Like,
wow.
what are the odds that we're gonna get a Keon Coleman card from Greece, right? And the
Right.
shipping was like $14. So I ended up not getting a deal. But here it is. There's a little customs declaration on there. It just came in the mail today.
Wow.
So yeah, from Greece. So let's pop this open and see how they do things in Greece. So live on the air. Um,
There'll
I'm really,
probably be about 6 rolls of masking or that
no, I
clear
hope
tape on
not.
it.
No, it was just the card solo, no nothing but the card, but it showed up and this is a blazing patch. I overpaid for it and it came from Greece, but it's a hell of a story. So that's a really nice looking patch.
Right on.
So it's a piece of the number. Yeah, so I don't mind. And it was a good story. So
He's a
straight out of
Seminole.
Greece.
He's a
Yeah,
Seminole too, right?
yep. Straight out of Greece, Keon Coleman. What are the odds of that?
Yeah. Now, how
Man,
is he? Is he any good?
he's all right. He was really starting to take off. Had like a 100-yard game, couple touchdowns, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
Former Bill Jordan Poyer decided to break his wrist for him with a dirty hit, and that kind
Man,
of
Jordan Poyer is washed.
yeah, he is.
Washed.
That
Yeah.
guy is terrible.
Yeah.
So, but that was the end of that. So there's high hopes for him. I guess he's come back, added a bunch of muscle, and we'll see what happens. Then I got this Joe DeLamielleure auto. He's in the
Nice.
Hall of Fame. He ended up in Cleveland after Buffalo, but I love
Yeah.
that. Got the old, it does stuff and beautiful signature. So Joe D.
I don't know why, but I always liked him when I was a kid. So I would be all over that auto because I thought his name was cool.
Yeah, he was a good.
Lamb.
There's another lineman on that team named Reggie McKenzie that was
Yeah.
dynamite as well. Reggie was great. He should
Isn't
be
Reggie, is he the GM for the Ravens? Is that the same guy?
no, a different guy.
Okay.
And then my never any pursuit of completionism, which is odd for me because you know I'm not a completionist. I got this beauty 69 top St. Karen, and it's a PSA 2. And again, I've been rolling up the ones and the twos, but it's a beautiful card. I don't care, you know. If it's a
Right.
so I got a good deal on it. It's a two, but it's nice, you know. I don't know why it's a two, but whatever. I love it.
So why
It's
don't you give us an update on your errand run? Where are you in this? Do you know?
Well, after my sale, which we'll talk about my sale down the road here, I'm going to get the 57 tops. That was my whole
Okay.
purpose of the sale.
The reverse
But
negative.
yeah, so I'm going to get the 57 tops. It would leave the 55 and the rookie, yeah. So that's
Okay.
it. 54,
All right.
55. I'm never going to get a 54. I can't afford that, but I mean,
Well, you
maybe
just
I could. I
have
mean, I
like,
could, but I'm not going to pop $1,500 on a low grade 54. So,
right.
I
Maybe you could get the Johnson's Cookies one or the,
yeah, that's a beautiful card, the
I
Johnson
know.
Cookies card. That's a good idea. I don't know if I sell some guitars or something, maybe I'll do it. I mean, I don't need
Right.
like freaking 14 guitars, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then this is a great story here. This is a card of the week for a special reason. So on my sale yesterday, I had this is a nice sharp six, right? SGC really pops, looks good in the holder. Andre
Yeah.
Dawson, iconic card. So
Blows his rookie card away,
yeah,
honestly.
I love it. So I had $18 shipped, right? It's $5 to send this thing, okay? So this asshole, Sean Berry, pops in. Well, sorry, but it offers $13. Like, hello, what are you doing, bro? Like $13? I mean,
Yeah.
for that, $13? I mean, I'm not a welfare seller, you know, and
Right.
I very rarely take offers, but that's ridiculous, and that's a blight. I mean, that goes everywhere. Maybe he thinks he's the funniest guy in the room, but Sean Berry didn't
No.
move, didn't appreciate it. So I'm gonna
Well,
keep it.
my response, I thought about it a little bit last night after you showed me that, it would have been, yeah, plus shipping. So it would have been $18 anyway.
Nah, man, I'll keep it. I mean, it's just a good card. I put a few cards in there with the I don't really want to sell a price, and I
Right,
end
right.
up selling two of there. And then my final card of the week, and this is gonna go to Chad Newland, is the Goose Gossage Auto. So we had a
Right.
giveaway on our page. That's gonna
Yes.
go to Chad Newland. I think Chad's up in Cincinnati area. I know he's a great big Reds fan.
Yeah.
He had a great comment on her. He had a GIF or something on her page, a meme, whatever you call it, and it was really funny. But Chad, you're gonna get the Goose Gossage. So those are my
Nice.
cards of the week.
Congratulations, Chad. Congratulations. Yeah, that's a cool card. And it's we've talked about this a lot before. It's crazy to think how good the autos used to be, and then you got guys like Jackson Merrill now who just put a J on
Oh
the end.
yeah. Oh,
I
you're
mean,
talking.
come
I
on.
got one right here. This
Oh,
is the example. I actually picked one up where the guy did sign his name, but I love the new setup. By the way, I could find
yeah,
everything. I mean, come on, man. What the hell is that? You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Who
Like,
is that?
it's Ray Davis. It's
Okay.
RD1, baby. It's RD1. Don't you know who RD1 is? It's Ray
No,
from the Bills. RD1.
no, I don't care
Oh
about the
man.
Bills, man.
Yeah, but still
Sorry.
RD1, man. And
Nice.
James Cook is JC whatever. So Jesus Christ number 4. Oh.
Yeah, that's just lazy, man. That's just lazy. Do
hmm
they? I don't think they teach people how to write like their names anymore. That's part of the problem.
Well, we don't teach writing, and
Yeah.
we teach it in room 6. They learn how to write their name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't
Good.
care. Everybody in my room, when they sign that attendance, that right out of the beginning of the year, I say, "Hey, whoa, come on,
Yeah.
what's that?" Well, I don't know. Well, we're gonna learn. So
Right. Yeah.
everybody, all my kids have nice signatures, and I tell them sign your name like you mean it, like you're some. That's you, man. That's who you are. That should be, that people see that and wow, look at that. I mean, I know my signature is really blazing, and it stands out, and people are, whoa, look at that,
Right.
So I teach them. So they might not know how to write anything else, but they know how to write their name.
Well, that's good. That's good. You should do that, I think. Well, I'm going to get into my cards of the week, and I don't really have any. I don't really have cards of the week. I've got boxes of the week, so I'm going to go ahead and make this the Chris Frank, 4 minutes or whatever. So he's been making these boxes with custom boxes. He's painting. He's taking the boxes and painting them, and sent me 4 in a team box. So he's sent me 7 of these now. I'm going to put him together a bunch of starter sets: a 77, a 78, a 79, and an 80. But these are just amazing. This is
Oh, yeah.
1974 tops. So it's got actual cards. And then on the end there, it's got 1974 tops. It's very cool. And then the logo for the cards that year, I don't remember, but I'm assuming that's what he did. So, I got one for 74. I got one for 73. So 1973. Actual cards, the card wrapper, 73 tops. And then 2 more. I got a 1975, which I don't actually have a set of, but I'm gonna do it now. So 1975 tops. You got the green and he did the green and the purple. If you look there
Mm-hmm.
after the Brett card.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
yeah, it's subtle homage to George Brett's rookie card. And then this last one here is a 1978 tops. So he's got the Andre and the
Oh,
Pete
look, there's
Rose.
Andre. There's a $13 it's SGC 600 Dawson.
Right, right. Yeah, he used actual cards, which I
Yeah.
was like, dude, use like Greg Minton or somebody. You don't have to do Andre Dawson and Pete Rose, but he did. So you got a Dawson and a Rose there forever eternalized on this box, 1978 tops. And then the last one, and I know you've got something similar, but this is amazing. So you got a three row box, and it's the Dolphins. So team
Right on.
colors,
Yeah, so my
old
bill,
logo, old logo. Good job, Chris. So yes,
I
amazing.
can't really hike it up because it's full of cards. But same
Right.
thing, the bills,
I
it's
love how he blends those colors from red to
oh
blue.
my
That's
God, it's
amazing.
amazing. Like, I love this. And it's yeah, it's as you can see, it's full of bills cards.
Yeah, it
Check
is.
it out. I wasn't kidding. So I'll fill that up right quick, and there you
Wow.
go. So yeah, that's all Buffalo Bills. And
Well, Chris does these, and he does take requests. So,
yeah,
he
definitely people get a hold of Chris.
yeah, yeah. Chris Frank is his name. So thank you, Chris. That's really my cards of the week. Just I
Yeah.
wanted to show those because they're amazing. My family was amazed. Even they're
Mhm.
like, "Whoa, those are crazy good." So, and they don't really get too juiced about the hobby or cards in general, but they thought the swag was cool. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm
you know,
going
th-
up there in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to get together, Chris. I had a great time with him down here. And
outstanding. That's cool.
oh
Well, tell
yeah,
them I
him
said
and his
hello.
wife there, we had a great time. I mean, I just had a great it was probably I get pretty amped up with what I do, and that was like the chillest 2-3 hours I've had in a long time. I really enjoyed it. It was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hopefully you'll get to do that again.
And Breck too, Breck Allman. I want to on my way back slide Mississippi way and get together with Breck.
That's cool. Well, if you come
Maybe
this
see
way,
you. Yeah,
yeah, right. I mean,
come
I'm
see.
I'm between
Yeah,
Mississippi and your house,
yeah.
so
I mean,
uh,
I'm not just gonna drive by and say, hey, Greg.
yeah.
I'll
Well,
stop
I
by.
can meet even if it's meeting you up on I-10 and having lunch somewhere, man. I can do that. So,
Yeah, well,
no.
yeah,
All right, cool.
definitely.
So, what do you got to talk about? You had a sale last night. Let's hear it.
Oh, it was sensational. So I had vowed no more claim sales because the lunatic fringe drives me crazy. And again, Sean Berry is a good example of the lunatic fringe. And I also got about a half a dozen people waiting to pay, but whatever, they'll pay. So far so good. I said I'm
Yeah,
never done a claim sale, but I got this lot of cards on Goodwill. I was battling that other asshole, Rad Frauds, Mr. Fake Fraud, Mr. Rad Frauds, who's on YouTube, and he's totally ruined the Goodwill game.
right.
Well, so I filtered to Tampa, which is like 45 minutes from my house, and I hit this massive 40-pound lot of binders. Well, every binder was a rookie card. There was
Yeah,
nothing but rookie cards in here. 40
nice.
pounds, despite what some other people might say with the binders and the pages. It was 40 pounds of tonnage because they were stacked. Like, I mean, some had like 5 or 6 cards. It was pure tonnage, man.
Right.
And so it was all rookie cards. So every rookie imaginable from like the mid to late 80s to the early 90s. I mean,
Nice.
Griffey, Chipper, Frank Thomas, you name it. I mean, everybody, Small, everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
And I felt bad tossing, the chum in the trash because that was like a lot of effort by somebody because it wasn't just superstars. It was every single rookie card from like 88 to 92, 93.
Yeah.
Every single one. Like,
Wow.
no name players, like
Yeah.
Tim Costo and, players like that. Just everybody every single rookie card from that era in these binders. So it was really kind of cool. And I felt like, man, this was somebody's work. And it took hours to do this. And
Yeah.
maybe they passed on or the family didn't want it. And then I thought, but what am I going to do with all this stuff? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sitting, but I put it in the bin. But that was the rare occasion where I felt kind of bad about doing that because, it was a lot of time. And,
Yeah.
I reaped the benefits of it. And I took a shot. I bid for it all and I ended up winning it, drove over and picked it up because the shipping would have been like 35 bucks. That's so I was able to bid kind of high and then I won, but I didn't have to pay the shipping. I just drove over and picked it up.
Right.
So it was a really great sale. I
That's
sold
cool.
everything. I mean, I put the few remainders together in a little lot for like 20 bucks. Those should probably go, but it was really fun. I had a great time. It was a good time. And
Yeah.
I had some really crazy prices and
Yeah. You did. I was like, man, don't kill the market. You're giving this stuff away.
yeah.
It was a great sale. I watched and I claimed a couple, but I
Mhm.
just I wasn't, I wasn't quick enough on the draw to get some of that. It was a frenzy. And
Yeah, I figured it would. And I was hoping, I wanted to do like when I had that Star Wars sale with the dollar Luke Skywalker rookies. If people, it's not all about money. I know what I paid for it. I knew what
right.
I'd get out of it. And, I got like nearly 3x of what I paid for it. So why do you have to go crazy? I mean, come on.
It was
Nobody
still cheap.
how many sales do you see the brown teeth Tom Glavine, 88 tops for like 50 cents, 75 cents, a dollar? Nobody buys it. Nobody wants it. So I put them all out there for a quarter. I put all the John Smoltz rookies for a quarter. I put all the Biggio rookies for a quarter. Here you go,
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Like
Right.
giving back a little bit, but also having some fun because, at 50 cents, that stuff's not going to fly generally. Nobody
No.
wants it. But at a quarter, hell yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I did.
Well, especially that red Donruss Biggio, man, in the Glavin. You can't
Mhm.
give those away anymore. It's like, God,
No.
these Hall of Fame rookie cards and they'll sit there at 50 cents. And so you're right, you got to drop it down to a quarter. So I was impressed. I was like, you had people just climbing all over themselves to to do what to get what you were selling, man. It was cool. It was cool
Yeah,
to
I had a
watch.
good time. That's the bottom line. That's why I do this for fun.
Right.
And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And again, I had some good interaction with people. I met some new people, right? Some new people found their way in and we were chatting and so you make new relationships and that's what it should all be about and not always about the money. And I
Right.
know I'm kind of an oddity. I don't care about it. It is what it is. I'm not worried about what I get back for it. I'm more about
Sure.
connecting and it was good. So I made a couple new friends and, I
Right.
pretty much sold everything. It was a good time.
Well, and if you can break even and make new friends,
Hmm.
I think you always want to break even, but if you can break even and make some new friends, that's cool.
Yeah.
And if you make some extra money, put it towards your errands, man.
Yeah,
Like you said.
that's what I try to do with my sales and whatever I make I kind of have well, I try to have a rule. Sometimes I adhere to it, sometimes I don't, but something in, something out.
Yeah,
So if I get something like I get a new shirt, I pitch an old one. If I get a new guitar, well, no, I'm going to keep my guitars. That's wrong. But like if I get, I'll move cards around and if I bring in some stuff, I'll move some stuff out, and I try to
yeah,
keep everything centered to that one box. And I found myself just pretty much, when I started this, getting back into it 3, 4 years ago, and we started the show a couple years ago. Yeah, I want the Hank Aaron's. That's my guy. So I've
yeah,
just been trying to get Hank and get all the Hank Aaron's, and because that's where my joy. The only real joy I get from cards are the Bills, Hank Aaron, Luke Easter, and
right, right.
the Negro League players and
Yeah.
things like that. Satchel Paige, which I'll never afford any of those either, but that's where I'm at with that.
Well, you should. In my suggestion to you would be check into the Johnson's cookies, Aaron, and see how much those
Mhm.
are. Because that's
Yeah,
I
they're
think that's
pricey. They're
are they?
pricey. They're a little cheaper, but I think it's similar. But it's a
Yeah.
beautiful card, the Johnson cookies. And then
It
there's
is well
that
done.
the double header too, right? The
Oh yeah, yeah,
that thing.
yeah. Who's on that with him?
I forget
You
who's
know?
on it,
Oh
but
yeah.
I know
Okay.
that's a cool card.
Right.
I love
Well,
those.
yeah, I've just been kind of plugging along, and I haven't really been finding a whole lot of SGC ads lately, which is kind of discouraging. So I think, and you, I need to adopt more of your philosophy with this: bring something in and move something out, because I've brought something in and I'm not moving
Mhm.
out nearly as quickly as
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well,
So
it's all right behind me, it's right
yeah,
there. So it's all, and
Ugh.
I find the massive collection. Even with my bills, I sold a bunch of bills cards a few weeks ago. Just like Jesus, why do I need 5,000 bills cards? And then my buddy Kurt Lorkowski is doing a card show up in Western New York in a couple of weeks, and I sent him a mountain of cards for the show.
Yeah,
I'll fill out his
nice,
table up in Buffalo. That stuff, for like a 50-cent box, dollar box, that type of stuff. And he was like, "Good Lord, man!" I'm like, "Hey, what am I gonna do with it? I got like three or four. Do I need, how many 1975 Jim Braxtons do I need? How many
right?
1975 Bob Chandlers? How many, 1979 Jerry Butlers? I mean, it's
Yeah,
just like stupid. And I've accumulated all this stuff. And I mean, literally, do I need 10 1983 Joe Cribbs? I mean, come on. No.
right, right. Yeah, I've got, I think, an affliction where I feel like I need to hoard stuff. And I'm not a hoarder generally, but with this I am, and I've got to figure out a way to not psychologically want to keep everything like that I've got.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to talk to somebody about that
Yeah, well,
maybe.
like with shirts, like my rock shirts and stuff, I have a hard time giving them up. Every time, like I went in the closet and hoed a bunch of stuff out the other day, and Dr. Ford, she was like, "Yeah, where'd you go, man?"
Yeah.
She was shocked. I'm like, "Don't faint." She's like, "Oh my God, you're throwing out some stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean." So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, but she loved it. Dr. Ford is real happy with that, and I have a real nice amp that. Oh, I'm a clothes whore, dude. Trust me, I
Yeah.
am. Like I could probably wear something different every day for like 3 months. I am a freaking clothes whore, and it got worse when I became a teacher. Like when I was doing property preservation and in the dirt and the mud and doing all that stuff. But man, when I became a teacher, there's two things. I became a pen whore and a clothes whore. Like
Right.
I had probably 400 or 500 pens. You see my desk, right?
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
need,
A lot.
yeah. Do you
It's
need
a
that
lot.
many pens? Like anybody need a pen? So, and it's so funny
Pens and
because
bottles of water.
yeah, in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So when somebody needs a pen, they always, "Hey Ford, can I get some pens? Do you think you could spare a couple?" I'm like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
pens.
do you
I do
have
a
a
lot of writing.
do you have a rule like with clothes? Like if you haven't worn it in set amount of time, you just get rid of it, or yeah.
Yeah, I did. That's what I did the other day. I had some stuff that I hadn't really worn in a while, and I got rid of that. And then some stuff was pretty beat, and I got rid of that. And actually,
Jeans.
because I lost 30 pounds, so
You
I had a
did?
bunch of pants that didn't fit. So from last year to now, with
Okay.
the sugar and all that
Nice.
shit. So I mean, I lost 30 pounds. I mean, I was a fat. Maybe I was. I look at pictures, and I mean, I was kind of fat, man. So, well, I looked.
I don't know about that.
I wasn't fat, but I look at pictures from like I might have been on my way to being freaking fat.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with being fat, but I've always been, skinny mini, and
Right.
I was
I've seen your old pictures. You were a rail thin.
yeah, real well, that was a lot of that was lifestyle induced. Hey, you might want to mix in a cheeseburger every now and then instead of, doing that. But yeah, so I was 215 and I'm 185. So I lost like 30 pounds. So
Nice. Well, good
and that was
job,
just
brother.
cutting out sugar.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a bunch of pants and it's funny. I put a couple on for Dr. Ford. I'm like, hey, how do these look? Oh, it's real baggy in the ass, dude. You gotta get rid of that. They were like,
Yeah, that's
they like
fantastic,
30,
man. I need
I
to
had
do
like
that in my closet.
34s,
I
man.
need to purge. I need to purge a lot of stuff. So we're
Yeah, it's the beauty of
that's
the
this is going
show,
to be
man.
the summer of sacrifice. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
take some stuff out to the altar and just
Talking
burn
about Ford's fat pants, man.
it.
Fucking fat pants. What do you got?
Well, I mean, you got anybody else you want to talk about or anything? Or I mean,
I don't know. Anybody else I want to call an asshole?
yeah,
Oh, I don't know. Well, come on, man. I don't care about that guy. Whatever.
yeah.
Um, I like to think I'm a decent person, so sometimes I get wound up and shot out of a cannon. And
Now the past is alive. Did you post your rad
I
frauds?
did. And
Tweet?
some
What?
guy said, "Are you rad frauds?" And oh, I lost my mind, dude. Oh, I'm like, I am not rad frauds, bro. And they're like,
Yeah,
show us the receipt. That was good banter, but yeah, I love Past is Alive, John Jobs. That's like my favorite freaking show. So people watch the Past is Alive. If you go on YouTube, that show is awesome. John, that's half the reason I got into this is because of John. I just love this show, and he
yeah.
has kind of the same. He's not real serious about it all.
Right, right. Well, that's cool. I've watched a few, and there it is good. You're right.
Yeah, it's
So
entertaining.
in the search for good hobby content nowadays, it's pretty bleak. So
It is.
that's a good
It's the
one.
screamers and the
Yeah,
ones that put you to sleep and the people that aren't real articulate. I find this is what's shocking to me is how many people are like stumbling around not knowing what year the cards are, how to pronounce names, or it's pretty nuts, that
right.
these people and it's people with like, good platforms, good forums that have thousands of views and thousands of watchers and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed that too, and I've subscribed and unsubscribed to a lot of different shows and podcasts and stuff just because you listen and you're like, man, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah. Even
This
Mike
is
Moynihan, who's pontificating, and it's almost like going to church with that guy. But
right,
there needs to be some level of entertainment and knowledge, I find.
right. What I'd love to see in the comments, y'all, if y'all would comment on our show, would be um, some tips for me to purge and what some psychological tips like how do you determine what you're going to get rid of and how do you come to grips with getting rid of it? Because I could use some help there. Because my
Yeah,
wife
yeah,
just tells me just get rid of it all.
don't we
So
all?
I can't do that. So I've got to do something. So anyway, some tips would be helpful, and we appreciate everybody that's watching. So
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't have anything else really to
No,
say
that's about
today.
it.
It's
Good
just good getting
show.
back on the bicycle, man.
Definitely. Yeah. Apologize. Just, the last few weeks, I had to focus on, 45 grads. So I was working. I was working at 5:30, 6 o'clock every night, and
Yeah.
I got a couple hour drive home, and I was just beat,
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but we got
So
it
we'll
done.
get back
Right.
to doing this
Yeah,
weekly during the summer if you're
absolutely.
game.
Yep. Next week we'll be back. We'll be back on a regular schedule, and again, yeah, people, talk about how we can get rid of our fat clothes and anything else you want to talk about.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody, take care.